Hey everybody, and welcome to the Dice Tower for another Top 10 of 2022. I am Camilla Cleghorn, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 themes of 2022. Now, when I was thinking about this category, I kind of looked at this a couple different ways. I was looking for a really unique theme, something that I hadn't seen before or really well integrated into the game, or a theme that maybe I've seen a lot but handled from a different angle or a new perspective. So let's just jump right in here with the top 10 themes of 2022. At number 10, we have Wormholes. Now, Wormholes is set in space, a theme we've seen a couple times in the board gaming. But in Wormholes, what I found really unique and interesting about it is it specifically uses the wormholes as technology. So in this, you are captains of a spaceship and you're traveling over the galaxies and cosmoses, trying to deliver passengers and fulfill different contracts. And you're using these wormholes as a mode of transportation to bounce around the galaxy. So I think this idea of taking a wormhole, something that we know in space, and using it from a technology standpoint was really, really unique and well done. So number 10 is Wormholes. And at number 9, we have the Wolves. Now you might say, wait, this is nature, I've seen it before. And you'd be right, nature is really hot right now as a theme in general. But what I like about the Wolves is I feel like it really focuses on one part of nature. And in the Wolves, you are part of a wolf pack, and you are charged with building up the pack, growing your pack, increasing your influence, and just trying to be the strongest wolf pack at the end of the game. So I think that the Wolves really stands out in a crowded space right now because of this, because it is very focused on this one element, not just of nature, but of wolves' personality and their kind of innate nature, and you get to kind of expand on that. So at number 9, the Wolves. And sitting at number 8, we have Feed the Kraken, a social deduction game. Now, in Feed the Kraken, what I really like about this theme is it brings in a couple different aspects to it. Feed the Kraken, you're thinking that it's going to have pirates, of course, right? Which it does. But it also has sailors in there who are really loyal, and they're trying to guide the ship safely back to harbor. And then you have the pirates who are on their own agenda. And then you have cultists as well, and those cultists are trying to summon the Kraken up for their own nefarious purposes. So I really think that this theme is a marriage of a couple different things. There's that expected piracy and in the sea and maybe fighting a big beast, but to see that coupled with sailors as well as the Kraken, kind of get a little bit of that fantasy in there and a little piracy, it really blends those nicely together for a unique niche within this theme. So my number 8 is Feed the Kraken. At number 7, we have Townsfolk Tussle. Now, in Townsfolk Tussle, you are playing as citizens whose sheriff has recently passed away, and so you don't have anyone to lead you, and unfortunately, you're being attacked by ruffians. So these ruffians are coming in and trying to cause all kinds of problems, trying to take over the town or just cause mayhem in general, just muddy things up. So you, the townsfolk, the citizens, are banding together. You're trying to build different weapons, exploring the town, and trying to use your creativity as much as you can to overcome these ruffians, which there's like 3 or 4 droves that just keep coming in. This is really unique because it is a cooperative game, but ultimately you want to be the best citizen possible so that maybe you can vie for sheriff at the end of the game. But I think it's really unique in that you see this town kind of come together, and it puts you in this theme of kind of the Steamboat Willie, I think is what a lot of people are going to compare it to. So it's something that we have that familiarity with it, growing up watching those shows or reading those comics, things like that. We have that familiarity with it, but you really are immersed in it, and it brings it to life in a really unique way. So my number 7 for unique themes is Townsfolk Tussle. At number 6, we have Terracotta Army. So Terracotta Army is a really fascinating theme to me because it has such connection to the real world. These are events that did happen, in fact, and we have evidence of. So this is going to take place right after the emperor has died, and you are one of the artisans or the craftsmen who has been hired to construct this Terracotta Army to guard the emperor's tomb. So through it, you're going to be going through and gaining influence and victory points and such in order to assemble this Terracotta Army. And I think, again, it's just such a good implementation of part of our history, that we can see and that we've studied and that we know about, and now we can see it in a board game in life, and you're part of that history. I think it's a really rich theme brought to life well in this game. Number 6, Terracotta Army. And at number 5, we have Come Together. Come Together is set in the late 1960s when there was all kinds of music festivals and love, peace, rah, rah, ree, right? So Come Together is going to be set during this time, and you are putting together a music festival. So you're going through and you're having to decide and manage your different stages, your artists, your camps, trying to gain publicity in order to entice people to come to yours. And it's just a really fascinating time and life that is brought into a board game here. It's really relatable. It's very fun. And really, I think underused. There's not a lot of music games that you can point people to. So I think it's an underutilized whole theme in general. And then specifically putting you into the shoes of somebody trying to bring this music festival to life is very fresh. So my number 5 is Come Together. And at number 4, we have Woodcraft. Now, I really enjoy woodworking. I really just enjoy crafting in general. I find it fascinating. Again, I'm not good at it, but I just find it fascinating. I think there's something to be said about working with your hands and seeing that final project or product, you know, that's just really empowering, right? And so when I saw this Woodcraft game, I was really intrigued by it, that it's like, wow, you know, you can play as that. And in this game, you're playing as wood elves who are in woodcrafting or woodworking, I guess, and you're each trying to make the best shop. You're hiring different workers. You're trying to produce different products in order to fulfill contracts. But really what I think makes this theme shine in this is this aspect of you have different kinds of woods and you need to maximally use those in order to fulfill the contract. So you might have to take a piece of wood and cut it up into 2 smaller pieces. Or you might have to take 2 pieces and glue them together in order to make a specialty piece that you need. And so it has these elements of the actual woodworking where you're combining and cutting down, you're sawing and you're gluing through it. And it just feels, again, I used this word before and here it is again, very fresh. You know, you're not actually in your backyard with the saw, but you can still see the product of that in this. So my number 4 is Woodcraft. And at number 3, we have another music game. Number 3, we're going to have Lacrimosa. In Lacrimosa, you are a patron of Mozart who has passed away. And so in Lacrimosa, you are trying to, as his patron, really have this last piece of music that you want to get out there and have it earn as much money as possible. But you're playing this in 2 different, I guess, kind of eras kind of almost, or 2 different phases where you're playing the present where he's already passed away and you're trying to get this piece of music, get the publicity behind it and get it out to have it make the most money for you. But also you're playing in the past when you were still becoming and building that relationship with Mozart. So it's really interesting to see those 2, the dynamics of that. During it, you know, as you played in the past, you're trying to build that up and go up those tracks in order to get the most influence with him and be the highest patron. But then also in the present, once he's passed away, to get this new piece of music out there so that you can ultimately get the most money, the most influence, and be the most influential patron of Mozart. So it's a really fascinating theme. Again, like I said earlier, with Come Together, not a lot of music themed games that are, I think, done well in it. And these are 2 very, very different ones. I think Lacrimosa, what it does well is really pushes that envelope of playing the past and also the present with Mozart, something that we're all familiar with, and really kind of seeing kind of the background, I guess, a little bit of what happens behind the scenes of these patrons of the artists of old, composers of old. So my number 3 is Lacrimosa. And at number 2, we have Skate Summer. Skate Summer, I was apprehensive when I heard about this game, but then I saw it and I was like, it is so cool. There's sports games and board games are just one of those things that are really hard to nail. But I think Skate Summer is absolutely fantastic, and they really knew what they were doing, finding this little niche, not just a sports game, but skateboarding. How relatable is that? You know, we all know somebody who, whether it's a kid, I know it's my kid, you know, who's into skateboarding, or if it's a friend, or we just kind of grew up with it, right? If you're a 90s baby like me. But I think that Skate Summer really gives you that feel of being on a skateboard while you're trying to balance and you're seeing all the different tricks that you can go through. If you played video games, you know, maybe it's not actually skateboarding, but you played some of the old Tony Hawk video games. It has that relatability as well. So this is a very unique theme that fits well into board gaming because we have that connection to it. And you really see that come through. It's very well integrated into the game as well, where it's hard to tell in this game if the theme came first or did the mechanisms come first. And that's a unique that's a unique and difficult thing to do in board games. So I think that this game really does well and shines, not only as a board game, but also in the sports arena of board games and really shows that the two can work well together. So I think it scratches a lot of itches and brings up a lot of nostalgic memories, but also brings people into it. So very, very well integrated theme. At my number 2 is Skate Summer. And at number 1 for the best themes of 2022, according to me, is Monsters on Board. Now, Monsters on Board, in this game, you are a monster who is going to throw a big monster bash. Monster mash? I don't know. Is Monster Mash the name of the song for the Monster Bash? I'm not really sure. Let me know. But in either case, you are trying to throw a party for other monsters, but in order to do so, you need monster juice. So you have your little minions and you're sending them out into the town to cause all kinds of havoc and collect this monster juice, ultimately to fuel your party. And you have these different people that are coming in that are going to bring you different benefits, and you're balancing a whole lot of things, but ultimately just trying to throw a big basher. So I think that this is just absolutely unique. When I first saw this theme, when I first saw the art, when I first saw the mechanisms, it's so well thought out and it's so unique and just fresh. You know, a lot of the games I talked about, I said it pulls at that familiarity. This one isn't. You really feel like you're being exposed to a new perspective of something. And it really kind of grabs and pulls you into this world and this different perspective of a Halloween party. But oh wait, we're the monsters. You know, it has a very, very unique feel to it. I think the artwork is gorgeous, which really sells this theme as well, which kind of really elevates it and puts you into this atmosphere. So my number 1, the best theme for 2022, I would absolutely say one of the most unique themes of 2022 is Monsters on Board. And there you have it. That's the top 10 themes of board gaming for 2022. Some of them very unique, some of them new takes on things that we've already seen before or just very well implemented. And just that, and then that right there as well. Some of them are just really well implemented themes into board games that really kind of elevate the game. So which ones did I miss? Let me know down below. And until then, I'm Camilla Cleghorn.